Find product links below and hundreds more videos on my channel. Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Swivi version 2, which has had quite a few improvements over version 1. This is a monitor that's very good value for money. We've got around about a 720p screen, which is great for a monitor of this size and weight and price. It has a built-in protector for the HDMI port. It has the batteries built into here, and this also serves as the mount for the whole monitor. But the monitor is also able to disconnect from that to be used as a standalone monitor, and so the cable just goes to the camera. We get rid of this entire thing, and then you can just use whatever options you want to mount, and then I'll get to that in a second. But basically it's a very, very versatile monitor. And first of all, let's take a look at the base and what I think about this versus the other mounting options. The base is pretty good. It feels pretty solid. It does have a little bit of a wiggle, and I think that wiggle is intended to be there. This thing, when it's closed up like this, it has a lock either in this position or when you have it pointing outwards, which is in that direction, like that. And then so you can still reposition the camera. If you wanted to use it like this and have this thing lock into place, on the camera's connection point, you actually are able to move the camera forward and backwards using this plate. So if you wanted to leave enough space for your finger, you could, if you wanted to use it sort of closed up rather than open to the side. This actually is a pretty nice option, especially for a rig. The only thing is, when you're using this together with a rig, then you generally would probably not want to have this battery thing over here. You would probably want to move it elsewhere, like to the back of the rig, in order to have the front of your rig less heavy. And you can actually do that. It comes with a cable. You plug the cable into the monitor, you plug the cable into this, and then this is able to just completely detach from the camera. And then obviously the HDMI cable still goes from the monitor to the camera. So you would have this like that, you know, you'd mount it however you like. And then you can have your batteries connected with the cable that comes with it at the back of your rig or wherever else you'd like. And you can also use something like this. This is, well, you would need to get one that fits or wire it yourself if you know how to do that. Something like this, and then on a shoulder rig, this would actually be a very good option because we would be able to have the camera further back, sort of further onto the shoulder, and the monitor further forward. And the monitor does have the option to flip the screen. And then of course we could use some little things like this. If you're gonna get one of these, don't get a plastic one, get a metal one. This one's gonna be okay, but with a little bit of a wobble, just not ideal. So a metal one like this is gonna be a little bit better for use. In here we have the option to place two LPE6, so you know, the standard Canon for the larger Canon camera batteries. We are able to use it with either one or two. If we want to use it with just one mounted on the back of the monitor, then we can as well, because it will run on that voltage. So now I'm shooting with the Samyang 14mm f2.8 at f2.8, and this screen is so damn detailed that I'm able to focus just using the screen without any focus peaking, and that is freaking lovely and gorgeous. It is so damn detailed, and I really, really like that. And then right now, here this is with a 50mm lens set to f1.2. And let's close that up a little. So here it is at f2.8. Lovely and sharp. I really apologize that it's difficult to see that in the video that you're watching. Another really nice feature here is that we can zoom in or out of the image as needed. So to zoom out of the image would be if we wanted to maybe have more of these sort of information thingies show up on the screen. And then of course we can also zoom into it. And so basically it gives you a lot of flexibility with how you want to display your screen. So right now I can zoom in so I can see right down to the edges of the entire image that I'm recording. And so if I press record, I can see the entire thing right there. And then I can zoom in even further into that if I want to, you know, maybe check focus or something. Generally it's not needed for focus because the screen is so lovely and sharp, but you know, maybe you're standing a little bit further away or something. Now the biggest issue with this monitor is the focus peaking and the menu system. The menu system is buggy and the focus peaking is just not that great. And when I say not that great, it's pretty horrendous. And so right now I'm looking at something which has a bunch of green stuff and a bunch of purple stuff, and somewhere in the middle is supposed to be the focus, I think. But basically it's just a bunch of weird colors on the screen. And now what you could do is you could use the camera's own focus peaking if your camera has one. Let's turn off the peaking right here, and then we have a lovely image again. And then over here, what I've done with the second quick button, you can change these quick buttons to a few different things, is I've just made it flip. So if I want to get the monitor to quickly flip over, I can do. But when it's connected to this mount right here, then it flips automatically. Over here, we have a button here which you can both sort of press up and down and press inwards, which makes for quite a nice button system to go into the menu. So first of all, when we just quick press it, then we have the option for the backlight. And then if we long press it, then we get into the full menu. And the menu is buggy sometimes, but it does still work. And if it starts being buggy, you just turn off the monitor and turn it back on again, and it works. So it's not a huge issue, I don't think, but it's just something to consider that, on my one, the menu system was a bit buggy. And sometimes the shortcuts change themselves, and then you just need to turn it off and on again to get them to be the correct shortcut again. So first of all, we have brightness. I've got that set to 0. The backlight, which I've set to 100, and then next up we have contrast. I've got that set to 50, and then saturation at 60. We have color temperature set to, we have two different options up here, and we have user, where I can set the RGB values as I want them, which is lovely. As you can see, it's very nice and easy for me to sort of get through the menu using this sort of button system. It works really nicely. And then we have the blue only option, which if I remember correctly, I googled what that does, and it's something for calibration. Next up we have the language, we have horizontal and vertical position, we have OSD timeout, which is the menu timeout, basically how long until the menu disappears off the screen, and you can set that to whatever you want. I've got it set to 40, you can set it to whatever, like 1 second, 5 seconds I think, off 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and off I guess would mean that it never disappears, you just have to turn it off yourself. By pressing the return button. And okay, so then we have transparency of the menu if we want that. And we can go back. Next menu, we have type, and this basically optimizes the screen for different cameras. And we have 5D, 6D, D800, D600, and normal. And so normal, I would imagine, would be the one that would work for most cameras. And next up, we have the two different shortcut keys. What we're able to set them to is peaking, safe frame, type, which is that thing that we just looked at for the different cameras, and then blue only and rotate. And then over here we have sharpness. I've set it to 100. It doesn't seem to add any false sharpness to the image. And then next up we have the volume if we want to output to some headphones from down here. And of course we do have HDMI out as well if we need it. And then that's it. And then we can exit the menu. The hood that comes with it is fine, but it does fall off fairly easily. Just maybe, you'd want to put a little bit of, gaffer's tape or something to hold it in place so it doesn't fall off, because basically the entire thing comes off pretty easily. And I would like to see something that would, hold the plug right here, some sort of protection for the HDMI port right here. And then I would maybe like to see something that has sort of an EVF feature like this, an electronic viewfinder sort of feature. And of course you could maybe DIY one onto this monitor. And now the reason, if you're asking why don't you use the Feelweld EVF, well, it just doesn't have enough resolution. It's not horrible, but it doesn't really have enough resolution for my taste. Let's give a quick conclusion to this. Well, I think that the image quality is lovely, and I think that the build quality is lovely, and the versatility is lovely, and that I think is sort of outweighing the small possible issues, which are the bad focus peaking and the slight bugginess of the menu sometimes. And I'm not even sure if that would actually be an issue on other units of this. So that's my conclusion. I think it's lovely, and I think that for this price range, it is really worth buying if this is something that works well for you. And I hope this video hasn't been too long, and I hope I've gone over all the different things that you would want to know about this. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.